What's up, guys? It's an H Girl 30 here, giving you a double dose of Mando. Excuse the voice. I have a sinus infection, so I'm really trying to make this quick. But anyway, let's get started. Chapter 9 was not all that I expected. It surpassed every expectation that I had, and trust me, it wasn't many. Season 1 was very disappointing to me, mainly because I was coming off of the cusp of the dumpster fire, which was the new trilogy. But despite all that, I wanted to give The Mandalorian a chance, and let's just say season 1 disappointed me. But I will say that season 2 started off with a bang. It's a lot more gritty, it's a lot more hard hitting. They're not afraid to go a little dark, and they actually did pretty decent with the lore. They added new lore from the new books that I have not read, and I'm probably not gonna read. But the fact is that when it came to the new lore, when it came to the people that added on, even though you did not know them, it was easy for you to get to know them. That's the one issue that I have with some of these franchises, especially Marvel being the main offender. The fact that you have to study and look at a movie prior, and I'm talking about the MCU. You have to look at a movie prior in order to know about a character. You didn't really have to know that here. You may not remember their names, but you're able to remember the type of characters they were and what they did at that point in time. And the fact that you actually had the sheriff getting together with Mando to destroy a crate dragon, even though that is a side quest, it did not take away from the overall story, which is the important part. You don't want the side quest to overshadow the main story or to slow it down. They didn't do that here. The fact that you actually had the citizens of Mon Pelago coming together with the Sand People to destroy a crate dragon, that was interesting in itself. They actually had an overall enemy they wanted to destroy, and honestly, it was pretty much the best collaboration I've ever seen. I've never heard of a crate dragon except for when someone pointed out that the crate dragon's skeleton was found in the desert of A New Hope, but I think that was around the time when it was inserted in there from the special edition, because I watched the original and I don't remember it being there unless I missed it, or maybe there was a little hint of it in the distance. I don't know. The fact is that they added it in, and they added it a part of the lore. The one thing that kind of shocked me was these things were big enough to eat a sarlacc. And then for those that have not seen Return of the Jedi, is pretty much the first scene that you're going to see, the first part of the movie. You're going to see what a sarlacc looks like. And imagine that thing being eaten by a crate dragon. And they actually have diagrams on what a sarlacc looks like. You can imagine something that looks like that being eaten by a crate dragon. I'm like, okay, how quickly did these things evolve? I was just shocked. But anyway, the fact is that since it's in the original trilogy, it shows that it's probably the oldest, the oldest creature like ever. But I digress. That was a really good episode. It did not feel like a filler. It threw you in there. The collaboration between the townspeople and the Sand People worked. The sheriff and the history behind the sheriff and what you learn more about him made you know the type of person he was without having to study, and I love that. And you saw enough about Mando to know exactly what Mando was looking for and how determined he was for his mission. And his overall mission was to look for more Mandalorians in order to find the location of where Baby Yoda came from. That was his main mission, and he stuck to that. And it wasn't all about Mando. You saw other characters that were able to fit in there, and it didn't feel like it was crushed in, that you had to, okay, force these people here, force these people here. No, it felt balanced. And I love episodes like that, especially if you're able to find out a little bit more about other people. So this was a great episode. It blew my expectations away. But we got to talk about Chapter 10. What can I say about Chapter 10? The Chapter 10 was a filler. It was an absolute filler episode. It really had no rhyme, reason, or purpose of even existing, except for a small sliver of a hint, possibly, that your so-called escort mission, or the escort that you're escorting to a planet in order for her to be able to arrive there safely with her brood, may or may not know whether or not there may be Mandalorians where you're going. Okay. There was not even a small bone thrown at us from the previous episode of what we saw at the end. We knew nothing about what was going on. This episode had a bunch of member berries in it, especially seeing what is it? X-Wing fighters, and also seeing the possible New Republic, and then seeing how, you know, how things are at Mos Eisley and all that other stuff. There was a few member berries in there. But to be honest with you, this was a filler episode. A filler episode with absolutely no rhyme, no reason, and no meaning. If you skip this, it will not do anything to the plot, which is sad. There were a few moments of Baby Yoda, which I wish that somebody slapped him in the face. But that's just me personally, because I can't stand a little bugger. But despite all that, the thing is that this episode was a filler. It was a escort mission. An escort mission that led nowhere for me. And I know my friends were like, well, wait until the next episode. If you gotta do that, if they can't even throw you a bone, this is an episodic series. This is a series that will actually be fed to you in chapters, in episodes. You're telling me that I have to wait another week to find out what's going to be going on next week when you should have told me, at least give me a little bit of a hint in that episode? Really? Come on. This episode was pure filler. It wasn't bad by any means, but it wasn't great. And it is indeed skippable. So if you want to skip chapter 10, you can. It will do nothing for the plot. You won't miss anything when it comes to the plot. Just skip that and go straight to chapter 11. But other than that, guys, that is my double dose of Mando. If you saw both episodes, leave it in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think about chapter 9 and chapter 10. Even though I think chapter 10 is a crappy filler. But other than that, y'all, that is how I feel. I feel like crap right now, so I'm getting off. And I will see y'all later. I'm a Nature Girl 30. I am done. Peace out.